Alright, I know I wasn't going to do any more videos in the truck, but sometimes I think I'm never going to do a video if I don't do it in the truck. Anyway, what's beeping? Oh, sorry. I'm on my way to get my feet done. Always the highlight of my month, and it makes my feet feel better for a little while. It's not going to do any favors for anything else that hurts, but at least my feet won't hurt for a little while. And then I'm going to run some errands like a usual Wednesday. But today was a different kind of Wednesday. It started differently than ever before. I picked up a good friend of mine who was flying out of GSP. And so I took him to the airport. And that's the first time I've been to the airport in a while. If you haven't been there lately, GSP, they have redone damn near everything traffic flow wise, and it really threw me for a loop. Quite literally, because they put in roundabouts, but they also put in a different way to drop off passengers, and it was so different from before that I ended up going through a different way than before, and you couldn't drop off passengers. You either had to park or just keep driving. So yeah, did a big loop around to get back where we needed to be. Doesn't seem to be very efficient, but I'm sure they had their reasons to do it the way they did, and maybe it's a matter of they just like to confuse people. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a destination trip, but maybe ride out there sometime and familiarize yourself with it a little bit before you have to go actually for a reason and you don't know where the hell you're going, in case it would maybe make you late for a flight. We had plenty of time, so we were not there. We were there plenty early, so it wasn't a matter of making us late for anything. But yeah, GSP's all kinds of different. It was also interesting to me because that time of day I'm rarely on the road. So on the way from my house to his, it was almost no traffic. On the way back, it had picked up quite a bit, getting closer to school time. Excuse me. On the way to the airport, wasn't all that bad, but then on the way from the airport back to my house, it was significantly worse. So yeah, just kind of interesting to watch the dynamic. And I know it's always like that, but that time of day, I'm either usually in bed or at work. So it was kind of interesting to see it from a different perspective, I guess, or from a time, like I said, I'm not normally up and about. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks since I got PRP injections in my hips. I don't know if I've ever even talked about that on any of these videos because it's been that long. Didn't really understand, or maybe I was never made aware of the fact that prior to these injections, was I aware of the fact that in short, they make things worse before they make them better. So the pain, especially in my right hip, but the left hip as well, but really significantly more so in the right hip, has been far worse. And it seemed to maybe peak this past weekend, where there were several times between Friday evening and Monday morning that I nearly fell over. In fact, the last time it really happened that badly was actually at work, and a guy I was talking to said, "I thought you got shot." Like yeah, I almost hit the ground on that one. But yeah, so yeah, so the pain's different, but in response to it, I also am limited as to what I can take for pain. I can either do the prescription pain meds that I have, which aren't necessarily the best thing to try to function when you take, or I can take Tylenol. I can't take, normally I take Aleve. Several days a week I take an Aleve or two, and I can't. No NSAIDs, just Tylenol or prescription pain. So there's that. I was also told to take it easy. So cardio has primarily been walking on the treadmill. I have managed to get on my spin bike a few times, and surprisingly, that's not terrible. But it does kind of seem to fatigue me worse for the rest of the day. So I'm selective about when I'm willing to do that. I'm beeping again. Sorry, that's my glucometer. I guess my breakfast is biting me in the ass. I don't understand why I'm so high from breakfast, but whatever. So, and also because of that, I have not done any squats or deadlifts now for almost 3 weeks, which kind of puts me in a little bit of a mental tailspin. Those are my favorite exercises, and leg days are important to me for a multitude of reasons. So I'm reluctant to get back to it, but I almost feel like if I am on the downhill side of the pain and inflammation response, that I will go ahead and start back light, probably back to sandbag box squats and dumbbell deadlifts. I had been progressing nicely as far as barbell back squats and regular deadlifts or RDLs, but I don't want to jump back in where I was for fear of complications to the joints. If these shots don't work, it was really a last-ditch effort to avoid having surgery on one or both hips. I may have to do that. I really don't want to, but and maybe it is just because of these shots, but it has gotten to the point where it's bothering me in bed. Bed used to be the one place I was comfortable. It's hard to sit comfortably anywhere. So when bed started becoming a problem, I was pretty frustrated. The other kind of annoying thing is if these shots actually do work, then it will have been worth it. But if not, I will be more frustrated by the fact that insurance doesn't cover them. So I had to pay almost $1,000 out of pocket for these shots. Wasn't really looking forward to that. But I was less excited about having surgery again. Excuse me. So I decided to pull the trigger. Took a little money from my my little slush fund and paid for the shots. So we'll see. Still haven't gone to the the orthopedic surgeon I was referred to for my foot. Referred to by the lady who's about to work on my feet. And I have to tell her yet again I still don't have an appointment with their surgeon. And I'm still not convinced that my shoulder doesn't need looked at again. I just can only handle one thing at a time, and right now we're focusing on the hips because they've been the problem for 3.5 years. Everything would be helped if I could just win the Powerball. Hey, a guy can dream. Anyway, just thought I'd give you a little update. Everything else is about the same. Boring old life, but I'm glad to have it.